Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the WazzyCircus Radio, the show where I sit down with the fucking coolest people on the planet, baby. I'm here with Cap Jay, 9 years in the sport, 2,400 skydives, helicopters, jets, medevac, speed flying wings. He flies whatever he wants to fly. You know what I mean? Say what up, Jay.
What up?
Hey, tube jumps. This dude makes tubes.
Tubes.
Yeah.
To
jump with.
I am the Freefly tube guy.
You are actually, and how do you find a Freefly tube?
It's, how do you fly in one?
How you find one? Like, how do they find you? Like, if they want to order a tube.
Cap J Innovations on Instagram, Cap J on Facebook.
You have any pictures of the tubes and shit? Look.
Oh, yeah, it's quite a few, yeah.
Tubes. He makes the cool Freefly tubes.
Yeah. I'm the guy that dye sublimates them, put all your graphics and stuff in them. Yeah.
Pretty sick, man. He makes the tubes for flight nights.
Yeah.
The tubes
working on dialing in the tunnel tube, which we were checking out tonight, trying to get those a little more
It's a fucking
crisp.
journey, ain't it?
Yeah, man. It's the engineering in it. As I said to you in Saboba when we were messing around with that thing, which is like, it's like, I'm a goddamn fabric engineer, man. Let me deal with this.
Yep. Hey, that harness is sick. Oh, man. So speed fly harnesses, you guys. All right. Yeah, we're give it out. But yo, okay. Because we were playing with the harness and we were trying to figure it out, right?
Yep.
So for speed flying, I just got my speed fly rating. It's going to ruin my life. It's all I can think about, man.
I need some of this coffee.
Yeah. Man, speed flying, I don't know how to explain it. But the harness, it's a backpack, right? And you put your wing in it.
It's a magic backpack.
It's a magic backpack. Because you get to the top of the mountain, you lay your wing out, and your backpack unfolds and unzips into your flying harness. And then you hook up your parachute, you fly down, and then it transforms back into a hiking backpack. That is fucking amazing.
It's a parachute transformer.
What is that? I mean, gosh, how long has speed flying been around?
Oh, I don't know. The guy in Isabella, where we want to go,
right.
Dwayne.
Dwayne Hall?
Dwayne Hall, yeah. Of course, I mean, somebody's going to correct me on that. 90s, maybe?
Okay.
I know they started it with like flying skydiving canopies off of it. They would just ground launch skydiving canopies, and they'd launch them off of stuff. I've seen dude at Isabella launch a, was it a 90 or an 84? I don't know, a Velo.
I believe it.
Yeah, he launched it off of Isabella. Enough wind, enough run, and he sent off. I'm like, that's
dope.
A friggin' Velo, and that thing's staying with the terrain. It's pretty awesome.
So yeah, here we go. That's Lake Isabella.
That's Lake Isabella,
So yo, when we go to the dunes in California, we fly old Sabre 135s, Stiletto 150s, Stiletto 135s, and they've hugged the terrain great.
Yeah, I bet they probably work there too, I imagine.
I bet they would. But those speed fly wings are something different, man.
Yeah. It is everything we wish a skydiving canopy could be, right?
That is the perfect way to put it.
It flies so much better. The thing is,
it's fast as fuck.
It'll rip like a VK going across the ground, but then it'll stop and land like a Sabre or whatever you want, a very docile canopy. You're just like, oh my God, this thing stopped right away. It's amazing.
And you know you're going fast because the wind's going by you, but you're not coming down.
Right. Yeah.
It's the weirdest experience.
Yeah, you can still get some actually decent lift off of it for the most part.
Dude.
Yeah.
I did like a harness turn, and I'm like, I'm going as fast as if I did a 450 right now.
Oh, yeah.
On my Valk.
100%.
And I'm just cruising down this mountain like, this is nuts, but I'm not coming down.
Yeah. So did you figure out going from your traditional, like you're used to like sitting in the harness, sitting.
No, you're being like suspended by the harness.
Yeah, exactly. But what a harness turn in a supine. We're going supine.
We're going supine, Jay Sanders, baby.
Going supine. Did you feel like the major difference in how you actually do a harness turn?
It feels... It's more bodily organic, and it's all of you.
Right. Yeah. So when you go out there to like Dwayne, the big thing he would teach us was stack the hips. Stack the hips.
Okay.
Stack the hips. You know, so you're
put them on top.
Yeah, you're laying them over each other. Dude, and that worked like amazing going from like learning to speed fly and then picking up like the Mutant or whatever. I'm sitting there thinking, dude, you don't touch your fronts on a Mutant.
Yeah, we learned that on the show.
You don't touch your fronts on the Mutant at all.
We learned that on the show.
And I remember the first time I went to finally feel comfortable doing like an aggressive turn, I was like, stack the hips. And oh man, that thing oh dude. And it thing just soothes around just so smooth and do a nice crisp turn.
Do you surge before you do that, or are you just coming full flight?
No, you don't surge at all with the Mutant.
Well, look, here we go. Look at the video.
Oh yeah,
Saboba,
so this is
Okay.
Saboba. This isn't Isabella. Saboba is amazing. It's all
where I got my
low wind
license.
stuff.
This is where I learned.
There's Labarski.
That's LeBar.
Fuck you, Rich Labar.
Rich LeBar. The last episode, we were all nice to him. Fuck you, Rich.
Fuck you,
yeah,
Rich
that's
LeBar.
Rich. Rich is the fucking man.
We're both flying the Fluid Wings Low-Key 11. A lot of
Loki 11s.
most people know that Fluid Wings basically kind of started out of the speed flying, like paragliding world. But dude, that Loki is awesome. That thing screams, but it pops right up nice and smooth. I want to try their Thor. Their Thor is supposed to be pretty cool.
You guys got to know, Rich, who you're watching right now, and Cap J, both swoop Mutant harnesses in skydiving, and this is them flying speed fly wings. Like, the speed fly wing is fucking fast.
Dude, it's so fast.
It's so fast, and it feels fast. Look, that's the bunny hill right there.
Yeah.
Because Cap J and that Loki. That's a nice Loki. That thing is brand new. I saw you packing it.
Yeah. That thing's sweet.
So me and my son are actually over here for his birthday right now. We're over there kiting and shit, watching you guys.
Yeah,
so
you
we're
guys
here
watch,
on this
you got to
trip.
watch me eat shit on the one before that, right? You came in and caught my feet on the ground.
So check it out. Look, you lay your wing out, you're into the wind, you
no
run,
wind.
you bomb, arms back, and you're off a cliff. Boom. That was crosswind a little bit.
It was a little bit that day. It started picking up there. That was a
Stack
fortunate
the
day.
hips. Stack the hips.
Stack the hips, baby. Watch that.
That's a harness turn. Look, he's not.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I hardly touch my rears at all. You can't touch your fronts on it. For all the skydivers, you cannot touch your fronts on a speed wing. That is certain death.
Isn't that nuts? And you're not supposed to really touch your rears with the trims in.
Yeah. I let them
But I
out before I
hang
touch
on my
them.
rears,
Yeah,
so it's weird
I still,
for me.
once I let the trims out, I'll still use my rears for stuff or whatever. You could still kind of plane it out. The thing's planed out so much though. You see how flat those wings are.
Yeah. There's no reason if the trims are in, you shouldn't even touch the rears.
Yeah, there's really no reason. It's so much close to its stall point already at that point. That's why they pop up so easy too, because I guess for the people that don't really understand speed flying, right? So it's essentially just these little clips in there. You pull them down so it trims the wing flatter. And then once we get flying, after we run off the cliff like you saw, we let go of them, and then the wing is now steeper and it flies more natural.
Gosh, it's so fun, you guys. And it's wider. Like from your skydiving wing, when you take your slider off, if your slider is removable, it's only the width of your shoulders. This thing's connected at your hips. Look how wide that wing is. It gets so flat. And that's why you get so much glide.
The span-wise camber on them is so flat on them. It's the same thing like we were talking about earlier on the Mutants. One of the reason why they just send it forever is they just get so flat because of there's a great picture of it right there.
Yeah,
right?
That's
You see how wide it is? Yeah, it's on a velo too. The span-wise camber of that thing is so flat, and that's the reason why they just go forever. Like I said, I am the worst swooper to own a freaking Mutant.
Right.
Like, I'm terrible at it. But I can send them forever just because of how flat it is. That, and you can't really tell here, it's also the chord-wise on it because the risers are so big that it's flat both chord-wise and span-wise, and they'll just send forever.
So that just transforms a skydiving wing into a speed?
Yeah, essentially a speed wing.
Or is it like a mini wing? No, it's more of a speed wing. Skydiving would be more speed, right? Because
I guess I haven't flown a mini wing, so I don't really know. Like I know one of the first guys to do it was Sven. Like he had a modified system, right? And they actually went to a wind tunnel and actually pulled some data out. Remember how you still see it a little bit, but the big thing back in the day was the belly bands and the guys would arc over, get on their belly real small or whatever. Right. They went to the wind tunnel and brought back a bunch of data. They literally found that transfer just alone wasn't worth the pitching yourself forward to get the amount of distance out of it. That staying supine the entire time was actually better. So if they could actually get these systems back, and that's why you see all these guys doing the distance and the speed are all in Mutants now.
Are you saying to stay supine even in your skydive rig, to lean back? Because Kurt Bartholomew was doing that.
Yeah, well,
before he switched.
Well,
he would come back and he would lean back with his feet forward. He's not going face first in most of those videos. You know what I mean?
A lot of people stopped doing that, right? You just don't see them doing it anymore. They're all leaning back now. Again, I'm not a competition guy. I know there's certain reasons for leaning forward.
It feels cool. I still lean. I was leaning forward out of my shit, dude.
And it looks cool too, right? It definitely helps with a little bit of the glide, but the supine and just how that system allows the wing to get so flat lets it just go forever.
And what kind of turns are you doing on it?
I'll do, depending on the situation, because I don't compete, right? It just kind of depends on what the skydive situation is. I'll do 270s, 450s. If I'm in a place where I can only do 90s, I don't like using it. Like I went to Summerfest, I did a few jumps on it and I took it off. I don't really use it at like Eloy.
Right.
Because the problem with that Mutant is, one, I'm still on a very small canopy, so I'm going as fast as the small canopies, but I'm floating around. Like, I can sit next to a guy with a 150 and just glide with him.
Wow.
So now I'm stuck high with a bunch of belly flyers that are pulling too low, but I'm going way faster than them. So now I'm stuck in a really weird spot.
Bunch of belly flyers that are pulling too low. Yeah, that is a weird spot to be in traffic like that.
Yeah, you're so fast, but yet I'm still stuck high. I'm like, this thing, I don't like this.
And the housekeeping on it,
it's definitely more intense. I've used it for a few like AFF jumps. And I'm a little leery about it sometimes because if I've got a pull low, but there's other things I can do where I don't have to open up the whole system. I can still use it where I don't release it and lean back. I can still use it.
You can just land it.
Yeah, exactly. I've used it that way before.
Okay.
Where you just stay upright. You just loosen the chest strap. You don't release the top clips on it, and you just release the buckle. So you just kind of sit in it more and sit further down. In fact, that's how I lost a slider that way, because normally I pull the slider off and I stick it on the butt pad and sit on the thing.
Right.
Didn't release it, so I'm not completely on the butt pad, stuck in my butt pad. I go to
right
make a turn
out.
and it blew right out. Problem was, Rich LeBar and I were up in Skydive West Plains. Shout out to Kara. Great little drop zone up by Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
Freaking thing blew off and went into a field. I spent like 3 hours out there looking for my slider because, of course, I'm the only one with a fluid wing slider, and no one else has a fluid wing slider that I can just put on there real quick.
Right. Oh, that's.
Oh, it was painful, man. I went out there looking for it everywhere.
You found it?
It was terrible. Oh, we found it.
Okay.
I found it eventually, yeah. But it was it was pretty dumb. I was like, God dang it.
You were speed flying before you went supine before you went mutant.
Yeah. The only reason I got signed off, my buddy Jesse Ware, who's on the PD Factory team, I was like, hey, one of the guys at our drop zone was selling one of his old Mutants. And he's like, hey, I'm going to sell this thing. You should think about doing it. You speed fly, and you kind of have to get a sign off from somebody. And I talked to my buddy Jesse, and he was like, yeah, you're pretty safe. I've seen you. You're good.
Right.
He goes, I'll give you a few little gates. That's why I was flying the velo for a while. He's like, fly your velo for like 30 jumps or whatever. And he goes, I'm willing to endorse you to get one. Dude, I had the thing on for like 100 jumps. Thing's great. Even a velo is awesome on that thing. It just goes.
Huh?
It goes. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
but you've done work jumps in it, but would you just leave it?
Only if I really had to. I'd say, dude, 99% of the time, I still have enough time to do the housekeeping. So,
Sick.
yeah.
Is it all you look forward to when you're just, God, I want one so bad.
Dude, after you've been speed flying, I'm telling you, you want one. It's just the way the wing should fly. That, and I know like Scott over at Fluid Wings and PD, they're looking at like more supine specific wings, which should be like, hopefully we get closer to that speed flying wing, right? That flies so much. Speed flying things, everything we want a skydiving wing to be, right?
So this brings up a question. Why don't we have trims on our skydiving rigs?
I wish I know. I talked to an old skydiver. Supposedly they had that for a while.
Really?
They had something where there was like a trim. I don't think they lasted very long, but they literally had like the same releases we had on them to try to like make them steeper and
Right,
they could
right.
release them. I'm sure there was probably some cases where some of them probably locked up on
They're
them.
locked up, or I can see all that wrapping
just
up in
junk
something
and stuff or whatever. Yeah, and that's probably why we gotta
figure out a all cloth trim system.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's where, again, fabric engineer, that's where, like, the more complex you make things, the more likely it is to fail, right? So we want to make it as simple as possible, which tends to make it safe as possible, which also makes the manufacturing cheaper.
Right.
Right? There's a reason why, like, your vectors now, they got rid of, like, metal cables. Why? There's a whole bunch of speculation on it, but one, it's safer, it's easier, they can do it in-house. You know, there's a bunch of other things. There's a reason why it's that cord now. Get rid of a bunch of crap that they got it outsourced too. So you imagine buying a bunch of buckles, sticking on there. They catch up in the risers and everything.
But in XRW, don't they use trims on the front?
I don't do
You've
XRW.
never done it? Okay.
I've never done it. I don't think I fly a small enough wing. So they might.
70 fucking 2?
Dude, some of those dudes are on like 60s and stuff like that.
You know
They're
what?
also
They
bigger
have-
dudes.
They have trims.
Yeah.
There's trims.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
So imagine trims on your fronts, and
Yeah.
you can set it to a dive and let it be.
Yeah, and I think that's what those guys used to do. They used to do a bunch of trims on them.
Well, so I think they're doing that now for the
Yeah,
XRW.
they're doing it again. Yeah.
Do you wingsuit also?
I've done 50, 60 wingsuit jumps.
And
It's too hot in Arizona.
yeah, it's fucking hot.
That, and when I actually learned up in Canada, believe it or not, and we had dude, you get those times you get those big towering heads or whatever, and you get to
the fuck out of here.
rip
It's
your
the
wingsuit
best.
around. It's awesome. And then once I came to Arizona, I still had it. I've
There's
still
no
got my Sabre
clouds.
120, which I love.
The best. Sabre 1?
Sabre 120 though.
Do you have a dome slider? What kind of slider?
I don't have to on the 120. Dude, it is like, I think, you know how every canopy, no
Has
matter
the
the
perfect
size,
right.
I personally think it is the Sabre 120. That is the perfect size because it is a positive opening, but it's never hurt me. It's
Right.
always been nice and positive and solid.
What color was it?
Open on heading. It's
Pink and blue?
pink and black.
Okay, I had pink and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that fucking 120 forever.
Dude, it's awesome. I love it. I still keep the canopy, even though I don't really plan on wingsuiting. I'm still going to keep the canopy.
Right,
I've still got
right.
it on its own set of risers, own free bag, so I can swap it out real quick.
So if I went back to wingsuiting, I would definitely get a Sabre 1.
Yeah, 100%.
120, 135. It's perfect. It's square. It opens on heading. Zero stress.
Yeah.
And it's going to fucking open.
Exactly. I let one of my buddies use it for a while, and I was like, dude, if you mess this up, you're going to find a way for PD to make me a new one. I was like, I don't know if they will, but I was
Right.
like, you're going to find out. Be like, I need you to make me a Sabre 1. I'm going to make you
Right.
buy me a new Sabre 1.
Dude, those Sabre 1s were the best canopies that were ever.
I think
Dude, they were so good.
They were great. I loved them.
Now, they did open hard, but if you put the right slider on it, it
Right.
made it perfect.
Right. Yeah. And that's where I had like a Sabre 150, and it had like
too.
the pocket on it.
Pocket slider
and-
didn't work.
Yeah, no, I just learned how to pack it better. But
What,
the
you
pocket,
just rolled the fucking nose in oblivion?
Yeah, well, and I did the thing too where you kind of roll the two sides and stuff it into the
Yeah,
one
stuff it in-
and
listen,
tuck it
no.
back in there.
See,
and then
listen.
roll the cone real tight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Listen, new
know.
jumpers don't know this shit.
Throw a knot in it.
Yo, yo, we would roll the Sabre 1s, the nose. We would roll it so tight and then stuff it in a nose cell.
Oh, dude, roll it so tight. You make Snoop Dogg jealous. He'd be like, that's
dog,
tight.
it's tight. And then
Gotta lick
stuff it in the nose cell and then smash the nose together so it wouldn't open. Right? And then wrap it up and pack it as tight as you could, and that motherfucker would break your neck the next day.
Oh, yeah. For
Oh, my
sure.
God.
But it opened on heading. You'd break your neck on heading.
On heading. And look, if you got the risers level, it wouldn't spin.
No, never.
No matter how many line twists
I've literally
you
had like 4 line twists. I remember it was one of my wingsuit jumps that was up there. Me and a buddy were going out, and we were like, had this plan. We were going to follow the clouds when we flew it around, but we went into the clouds and was like, okay, if we go in the clouds, here's our break off. Somehow we got messed up. He literally comes across right there and literally sees the last second. He sees me. He's on a bigger suit. I'm on like a Swift or something like that. And you see him pop up above me just barely. And I pitch, open up, and I'm on a Sabre, and it's like 6 line twists, and I'm just sitting there, and you can see it in the video. I'm just like, I can't believe I just made that. Then I'm like, okay, I gotta get myself out of this line twist.
You didn't care.
Dude,
Right.
in fact, it's like the end of one of the little videos that I made, and you can see him. I even slow it down where he literally just goes and just cups his body and goes over the top of me. I was just like, that was probably the only time I really felt like I was dead right there.
Right.
I was dead. I was within feet of dying right there. It was
sucks, dude.
creepy. Yeah.
Being stuck in clouds and not being able to
Oh
see.
yeah,
is
it was just
insane.
somehow we managed to come back instead of going apart for whatever reason, man. It was just like, woo, buddy.
So you were one of the first people I jumped with when I moved here.
Yeah.
That day was my first day at a drop zone, like really to get out. And I ran into you and we did that fucking no plan, awesome jump.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that. Because I remember Danny Feltner was like, dude, that's Wazzy. You need to go jump with that. I'm like, who's Wazzy?
Right.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, but you were cool. Man.
I was like, all right,
rip.
let's go. Yeah, I was like, damn.
Dude, we did that barrel roll out the door and we just fucking ripped that jump. I was like,
Oh,
Arizona's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's a sick place.
I've
And
been
that's-
back a couple times. Not everybody's that awesome.
Yeah.
It was just you, bro.
Well, I mean, just a cool personality. Terrible skydiver. Just
Oh, come
cool
on, man.
personality.
Yeah, man, that was fucking fun,
Yeah.
dude.
And that's where we found out that we actually both were from Oklahoma.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Yeah,
Well, I'm not from Oklahoma, but
Well,
I live
you
there.
lived there for a while, right?
Yeah, you're
But
an Okie boy.
Yeah, I grew up in Tulsa, but you jumped with Mel Tilly?
Yeah, I know
Well,
Mel.
and my dad
fucking Mel Tilly.
My dad helped teach Mel Tilly how to skydive. My
This
dad
is
knew him way back in the
insane.
day.
Ghetto Birds. We all know
Way
Mel
back
Tilly.
in the day, dude.
Mel Tilly had a fucking. I gotta be careful,
Dude,
'Cause
I
love
remember.
Mel.
I remember as a kid, small kid, because my dad kind of stopped skydiving after I grew up. But we had pictures like Carl Banish on the thing, him jumping out of there, and his buddies with skydive would come over there. And I remember he had one of those creepy old GMC vans with like the shag carpet in it that
Yeah.
he used to go to the DC every weekend.
Dude, I've sat in the back of Mel's plane. I could smell fuel, and the motherfucker smoking cigarettes on the way to altitude. The pilot smokes the entire fucking time, talking to you. Yeah, fucking stop smoking. I'm like, dude, this is insane. I can smell fuel.
Dude, back in the day, man, I used to hear so many stories from like all the dudes that used to teach us to fly in the Army, all the guys who were there were all old Vietnam dudes. So you said the stories like, well, yeah, we used to be able to smoke in here. And I was just like, that's freaking nuts, man. It's like, you can't hardly smoke anywhere on a military base except for little areas, but they'd really smoke in the helicopters. And one of the things they used to love to do as a joke to the guys or whatever, student would be flying, barely knows how to fly, stick on there, and they do auto rotations at random to teach you, like, hey, engine out, and they literally roll the throttle, and the helicopter starts to fall, and you do the thing to auto rotate the helicopter. Apparently, these guys used to be like, hey, you want a cigarette? And the student would be like, yeah, I'll take a cigarette, and they'd go, auto, and they'd shut off the cigarette and fall out of their mouth, burning their pants, trying to fly the helicopter.
So auto, isn't that where you like kind of dive it and catch the air to slow down?
So not really. So you lower the blades. The blades have a certain pitch on them that's designed so when you get air that's coming up through the bottom, it continues to basically spin the rotor system, right? And you set it at a certain, you kind of control the spin as you're all the way down. And you get to the bottom, you flare, just like we do in a parachute. Which
flare with the pitch of the blade.
The cyclic. No, so you flare with the helicopter. So the helicopter flares up, and then you pull collective because if you pull collective, the blades spin like that, and there's no power to spin them, so they'll start slowing down. So you have to have them low pitch until you get to the ground. So you'll flare like that, right, to kind of help. It actually speeds them up, and then you pull collective, which changes all the blades. Collectively changes the blades, which slows it down, and then you can set it on the ground nice and gently.
You want to dive it at the ground to the last second?
Nah, you don't really dive it. You kind of you float it down at a certain, there's a speed you set it, so it's actually kind of coming down semi-level-ish, and then you flare it at the bottom, and then you just plop it down on the skids.
Because I got another buddy that's a helicopter pilot, and he's like, he can set it down anywhere. It's great. He has the engine out. He has no worries at all.
Everyone always asks me this, like, if you knew, and of course you never know, right? They're like, if you knew you were going to have an engine out, what would you rather be in, an airplane or a helicopter? Everyone thinks, I want the airplane. I want to glide. I'm like, yeah. But now I need thousands of yards, 100, depending on what I'm in. I need a long distance. That helicopter, dude, we did a lot in the Army. We did so many engine outs, practice stuff where we land them on there. I was like, dude, I could literally put that thing in a parking space. I was like, I got an engine out and I could set it right down in a parking space.
Really?
I was like, yeah, if I knew I was going to have an engine out and something, I was like, give me the helicopter all day, every day.
What if the tail rotor goes out?
Yeah, then you're screwed.
100%.
No, there's other things you can do depending on if the tail rotor is actually broken off or the tail rotor just stops spinning. There's a lot of other procedures for that.
But that's the most insane thing, right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Because you become
you think you'd start spinning if it does, but if you have enough speed, there's the vertical stabilizer that allows you to continue to fly it straight, and then you can just skid it on. They practice some of them with called stuck pedal, so it's actually kicking sideways, and if you reduce power, it'll go one way. You increase power, it'll go the other way, and you can actually get it gliding on.
Have you ever had any emergencies?
The only thing that I've ever had not in the helicopter. Been shot at, but never an emergency. That we had a gear didn't come down in one of the jets we were flying. But they're all designed with systems that you just literally blow the gear, it just fires off a bunch of pressure they have built up, and the gear pops down. I've actually been kind of fortunate with not having a whole bunch of emergencies in airplanes or helicopters.
What's your favorite thing to fly?
A helicopter's 100%.
Really?
100%.
What's your favorite helicopter?
Oh, dude, the Kiowa. That was the one I went to the Army for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a small little scout helicopter. Had a big, basically,
the bubble?
Yeah, the bubble on top, right? So we could just hover up over the ground, and you could look at different things. You could laser or whatever, so other people could shoot at it.
And you did that?
Yeah, it had a 50 cal machine gun on the left side, rocket pods on the right side. Dude, if you've ever enjoyed shooting a machine gun, you've never enjoyed shooting a machine gun until you shot your 50 cal machine gun attached to your helicopter.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Does it just...
Oh, it's so bad if you're in the left seat. Like, literally, I learned to when they'd go to do it, they'd get ready to fire, and I'd let it because it'd just rattle your brain. Because, I mean, the barrel's like right there. I mean, it's like next to you. Oh, dude. It would just... I remember the first time we shot them, too. You know, we just got out of basic flight school, so I had 50, 60 hours flying helicopters. And they're like, all right, they teach you that helicopter specifically. They take us to the range, and this range is this massive complex, thousands of acres. But I can literally see all the guys in my class. They're all in the helicopters further down the pads. They're all hundreds of yards away or whatever, and it's time to shoot the 50 cal the first time, to show you how the button works or whatever. But you're sitting still.
The pilot shoots it, or the
co-pilot?
So
I literally have a switch. Yeah, the pilot shoots the machine gun and the rockets. The co-pilot operates the ball on top and does all that stuff.
What's the ball on top?
So it's got video, and it's got a laser designator and what we call a thermal sight. From what I guess allowed to tell you, it's a thermal sight, basically. So you get up there, you get lined up on your target, you pull up to like a hover or whatever, and you go to hit this 50 cal. You barely know how to fly the helicopter at this point. 50 cal is so much kick that it's literally turning this helicopter sideways. You smash the right pedal to try to bring it back. And you're sitting there just basically just doing this as a 50 cal, just doing this down the range. And you literally like, you set it down or whatever, and you look down the range and you see all of your buddies doing that too. You're just like, oh God, we're all. But then the next one is we're out in southern Alabama, right? Then they go to teach us to fly. They teach us how to actually, you don't ever sit still and shoot them. You just don't do that. It's not a thing you do. Most of them is like diving strafes onto something. So they got all these targets out there, like old Connex boxes and old
why wouldn't you
military.
We always see the Apaches sitting.
Well, they've got a different system than we do. Ours is fixed. Ours sits there. Theirs has TADs, so they can move it around and do all that stuff.
That's why. So you're actually, yours is fixed. So you're aiming.
Yeah. So we literally, how we do it is we literally take a grease pencil and we put it on the thing.
Fuck.
You go do a practice shot and go, okay, it's hitting right here. You swipe it off and hit it. And then
kind of like a fly sight.
Yeah, literally. It's like the little, like when we shoot video and we just put the little nipple on the thing. That's exactly what it is. And your rockets will hit top right of that little X. So that I knew that's where my rockets did. I was pretty good at rockets. I wasn't so great at the machine gun. But I remember the first time I got to do a diving one. So normally on all military bases now, if there's any type of wildlife, there's range control, but like stop shooting, you can't. They don't want you to shoot any wildlife. Well, in southern Alabama, they still don't care about the wild boar problem, right? That's the one they'll ignore. It's like an active thing, like we ignore it if they're on the thing. We don't care if you hit some of the wild boar, because it's bad for everybody. I remember going up and coming down to making a dive or whatever, and the instructor goes, that Connex you were shooting at, there's boar 50 yards in front of it. Try to hit him. I'm like, okay. Go down there, get, fly out. And I was like, get him? He's like, oh, hell no, but you scared the shit out of him.
Oh my God. Have guys hit him?
I'm sure they probably have, but I didn't. I mean,
I've shot at boars. I've shot at pigs off a paramotor. That's fucking hard.
You're just out there.
Like moving there, fucking, it's really hard. So like flying a helicopter, aiming and flying and diving.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
It's crazy, dude. Especially too, one of the things we got to do.
You have a gunner and you're just a pilot? Is it better for the pilot?
It's because it's fixed and it's a small helicopter, so it's fixed. Right, so I've got to control the helicopter. So normally when you go up, you start shooting and then you start to just make adjustments with the pedal, and you literally you're aiming the stream. It's a fire hose that you just aim the stream in on.
How many shots a minute?
I don't know. I forget now, to be honest. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a 50 cal machine gun, dude.
And where are the shells going?
It's off onto the ground somewhere. The rockets are the ones you got to hit on though, because you get one of those. You got to line those up.
You get one rocket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's more, but I mean, there's not a stream of rockets.
Right.
So whereas that you're just aiming the strafe with the machine gun.
I was thinking about the shells going through the prop.
No, they're falling down. They're going.
Gush,
yeah, there's not enough to do it. They're light enough.
So our first pig adventure, we had a shell go through a prop.
But
it was a fresh breeze.
Yeah.
So it just tinked it, and it was fine. But that's where we learned you have to use a revolver.
That makes sense.
But you can't fucking shoot anything from dog. You're swooping in. Oh,
well, then you got to learn all the ballistics of how it moves and everything like that.
It was fun. It was more of a cool idea, but in real practice, it's hard to shoot shit from the sky.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things they taught us too. Like you see all these guys that go on these pig hunts and they shoot. They don't realize that like when you're moving and you're shooting out of one side, you have to aim down and left. If you're shooting out the other side, you got to aim, up and right or whatever, because the ballistics of the bullet, how the bullet travels, it'll actually arc on you.
Oh, fuck.
It's crazy. Yeah. So that's one of the things.
Because it's moving.
Yeah. In that helicopter, it was one of the few where the guy in the left seat, actually part of our gunnery thing that we had to do every year is we'd fly by and you'd literally shoot your M4 out of the door at like fake targets to practice.
So you could see how.
Yeah. You had to practice because that was part of the job of Kiowa guys is, they would actually fly low. They would get down with the guys. It's not like all the other helicopters dropping guys off and leaving. They would go support the troops. That was their whole thing, was being down there with dudes. They'd be right over the top of them. You can find all sorts of videos online of guys in like Afghanistan. They're flying right next to the tanks and stuff like that, going down the road and everything. Yeah, man, that's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to be next to the guys supporting them, not just dropping them off and leaving.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
so I had a guy named George Neeson. Shout out George Neeson, old jumper. He's badass. He was one of the scout dudes in like Korea or Vietnam where he would fly his little helicopter in until he got shot at.
Yep, in a loach.
Yeah, and he would wait till he get shot at, and he'd throw out a smoke grenade, and the Cobra behind him would fucking light it up.
Yeah, so that's essentially what Kai was. Kai was a scout. We were just the adaptation to that eventually became the scout.
That's what it sounded like.
We became an armed scout. Yeah, so it was just the adaptation to what they eventually moved to.
Right on. And what are you doing now?
Now I fly for like the world's largest private jet company.
Yeah, because I've been to your loft.
Yeah. Oh, you talk about that? That's the rigging loft that I work at. Or that I have, so I can do like all the. Still do some parachute rigging. I don't do that as much, but it's more for the tubes and everything.
Yeah, tubes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tubes. We haven't talked about tubes.
Yeah.
Cap J makes the best skydiving tubes in the industry.
In the world, I say. It's my only contribution to skydiving. I'm a crap skydiver. I'm a crap canopy pilot, but I make the best free-fly tubes in the world, man.
Yeah, man. And they look good. They come custom. You can go to Cap J Innovations.
Yeah, just send me a message. We can work on making some stuff right there. I got
look at that. Hey, let's look at some tubes. Hey, because everybody wants to fly a tube. Man, dude, the pylon races are the fucking coolest things on earth.
Yeah.
Dude, for skydivers to have, if you can get two people to fly sit and match each other's fall rate, you can rip those fucking pylons in the sky. Look at that.
A few of the custom ones I started doing. That was like actually one of the first printed custom ones I did. They're all die sub now. Because I remember when I first started making them, how I just made them fly a little bit better and people started to notice it. Guys wanted me to do like stitching and stuff on there. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Because I was having to cut out letters and try to put them on there all square.
Hold on, go back one. What was that cutaway system?
Okay, so that is...
Not that one, go back.
Go back one more, yeah. So that is the head down leg strap.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
Of course, with a head up, we can always just let it go, right? But I was thinking, well, guys want to fly it on their head. And I was like, man, I need a way to get rid of it. That is still very much, every one that I've made has been completely different. I'm constantly changing that one, trying to improve it, of course. But that way, if they had to, they could still get rid of it. You know, they could reach down, cut it away.
But you're dedicated. So, like, you hook it to your ankle and you're getting out, dumping it, and going head down for the whole jump. There's
and then, when you go to pitch, fortunately, when you go to pitch, it's far enough behind you and, like, holding it in your hand. But it's far enough behind you, it's usually pretty good for that.
On the leg, it's cool still?
Yeah. Plenty of guys, it actually works a little bit better back there on your leg.
I think so, too,
Yeah. But what I noticed is one of the things when I decided to go to start building them is I jumped one for somebody. Just, you get the guy that just learned to can hold the sit fly the whole time. It doesn't always in the jump. You're like, cool, we got a job for you. Here's the tube. You can be the center of the jump. And you're like, this is amazing. I'm the center of the jump. Everybody's around me. And I remember flying one once. That thing's just out there just whipping around and it's just doing all sorts of crap. I'm like, man, these things are junk. It was all janky, like weird metal and stuff. I was like, I think I can do this better.
Right.
So that started a 6-year process.
Wow. Were you a rigger at the time?
No, actually I wasn't.
Okay.
I wanted to be a rigger. What's funny is the Army taught me to sew.
Okay.
It was one of the side jobs we had to have. I had to learn how to work on all the equipment, so they taught us how to sew. And then I was like, oh, cool. And then I wanted to be a rigger and started off with these janky machines, just random home machines. What's funny was I needed a better home machine. There's a head down one right there.
Yeah,
that's my buddy Seb. Unfortunately, we lost Seb last year. Great dude. But that's
how did he die?
He was in basically swooping lines. Lines broke. It was sad.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. French Canadian guy, so you can never understand him. But I love my French Canadians. Like I said, I'm a Canadian skydiver from the start because I learned to skydive up there.
Right.
But anyways, the Army taught me, learned on some janky machines. Had to buy like a better home machine. It's funny is I own the exact same sewing machine that my mother and my grandmother had when they were all growing up. That was the first home machine I bought.
Is it Singer or something?
No, it was a Bernina. It's nice metal gears inside.
Nice,
but then I eventually had to graduate to, industrial machines.
Right.
So anyways, so started just making these tubes. I was just like, man, I got to do these things better. I got to fly them better. One of the first things I figured out was the length. Everything that I made. So there's a little bit newer machine. I actually still have that machine. I made them to where they would always go over the top. So I made them 18 feet. I figured it was 3 feet taller than the center cell of a Sabre 2 150.
Oh, good. You figured it out. What was it? Yeah. What was it again?
About 18 feet. So all of mine, I make them all 18 feet.
I made 18 feet. Okay.
Yeah, I made one short one as a joke just to kind of see what it would do. And I've made different lengths, and I just kind of figured out they work the best because I wanted the safety factor. Right. I was like, cool. So when you open it up, it's not going to pass into your lines.
It's only 18 feet?
Yeah.
Because on base, from the harness to the top of the canopy is 32 feet or something like that. It's something far.
They're bigger canopies.
They're bigger
too.
canopies.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. You don't want everything wrapping in the lines. It just goes over the top.
I want it at least where it'd sit over the top long enough to at least get the canopy open, and then at least as long as it's flying. Then if it goes in the middle, then it's a little bit less of a concern.
Yeah, you just pull it down and wrap it up.
Pull it down or whatever. But then I had to figure out these things. You just see them. They just blah like that. I was like, how can I stop that? And it probably took, dude, I literally probably made a dozen tubes where I'd make it and I'd go to the drop zone on the weekend and I'd be like, that thing's crap. And there's a few of them where I would just take them and throw them away. There's a bunch of tubes in the trash. I'm like, that's crap. And I'd go make another one the next week.
Right.
And be like, okay, I can modify this. I can do this differently. So there we go. There's one that's opening up. But you see, like, so mine, I figured out a way.
Over the top. That's what he means by over the top. It's longer than the canopy.
Yeah. So you see how much low. So that's a safety margin. But the next safety margin was getting them from whipping, because if they wouldn't whip, they wouldn't whip into things. Right. So I figured out a way to get them pressurized.
Okay.
So that's my little system, and I don't tell people about it. But as soon as they buy one of mine, they see exactly what it is. They see exactly what it is. But then,
y'all got to buy one, son.
Yeah, then it makes them just fly that much better, and they fly more stable. And people are like, yeah, I'm not nearly as fatigued flying it. It just stays
so it's super
right
smooth.
there. Yeah, it just stays super smooth. And then I figured out like other things, like you look at it like a spinning turnbuckle, because I made one for a buddy and it literally wrapped around his hand and bruised his hand real bad. I was like, how can I solve that? And I was like, oh, a spinning turnbuckle. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't want it to fall off there. I'm going to lock it. Yeah, there's me. terrible opening. But you see how pressurized it is. Just stays nice. I don't know.
What do you mean terrible opening?
No, I mean terrible. Sorry, not terrible opening. Terrible, like me laying all out.
Oh,
I mean, terrible exit.
Terrible body
that
position.
Was terrible body position.
Yeah, gotcha.
Again, the guy that can't, free fly for crap, but he's holding the tube.
That's who you give it to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to move. I ain't trying to hold no fucking tube.
Yeah, exactly. And then learning to move with them is a whole other thing too. To try to do two, dude, you don't realize how much you have to move. One guy's got to be the stationary, and one guy's got to move around to set those correctly. And it's hard. It's hard to move with them because it's up there. But I got a great shot of a guy. I don't know if we could even find it. But they pressurize so well that a guy has it on his ankle when he's flying behind him, and a camera guy's flying behind him. That thing's just straight out behind him, just sick. Pressurized. It just looks freaking awesome.
And he just left it on his.
Well, yeah, because he was the head down one, so he just flies around with it on there. And
how much drag is that on your foot?
It's
under canopy.
It's a decent. There it is, right there. Oh, sweet, she found it.
Oh, look, and he's back. Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. See how it just stays nice and rigid or whatever.
Where's that? What drop zone is that?
I don't know where that is.
Okay.
Oh no, that's Skydive Chicago.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, you can see the paint hanger right there. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I kind of. I feel like now I've probably become the tube guy. I doubt many people have more tube jumps than me at this point. So I always get nervous when I hand it to a dude with a smaller canopy likes to swoop. I'm like, dude, there's enough drag that you need to do a student pattern. I was like, I read it like multiple times. I like get all serious with him. I'm like, dude, student pattern. Please don't freaking swoop. Because it is enough drag that it's actually pulls you enough that it's pitching you down. You're going steeper to the ground.
So it's hard to get out.
It's diving you more than you realize. So you'll do a normal turn. Right. Yeah, ask me how I know.
Oh, fuck. You came out some low shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit. And I had to, fortunately, I was only like on a katana at the time. But I was like, whoa, and I had to like toggle out real hard to freaking keep myself from smacking the ground because it was way steeper than I realized.
I can see that taking you fucking really steep.
Yeah, it does because it's enough drag. It pitches you over for sure.
So this brings you back to the Mutant harness.
Yeah.
No fronts.
No fronts.
You come in full flight.
Full flight.
That's what Jason said.
Yep.
You don't stall?
No. Not at all.
Full flight and just start stacking the hips.
Stack the hips, baby. Stack the hips. Just like speed flying. Dude, I'm telling you, if you get yourself one, speed flying is going to translate so well. I honestly, I mean, it's my opinion that if you haven't speed flown, you shouldn't be allowed to fly a Mutant.
A Mutant, right.
I mean, I know there's guys that have and they do different things or whatever, but it trains you for it so well.
Have you ever considered not jumping anymore because speed flying was so fun?
No, because there's still so many things that I've only been doing it 9 years now, almost 10, that it is the one thing that I've done a lot of crap in my life. I've been scuba instructor, all that stuff, flying or whatever, but it's still one of those things that no matter how good you are, there's somebody that's always so much better.
Skydiving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so many things that I want to like accomplish in it that it's just, I realize it's like, okay, I'm kind of getting that. And then I think I'm doing pretty good at it. And then I see somebody else and be like, oh no, I suck at it.
Yeah,
you know,
that sucks.
And that's the one thing. It's like you get new guys too that I try to like coach new guys. They're just like, I suck at this. I'm like, dude, I was like, we all suck. It's just a matter of what level we suck at.
Right.
I was like, the greatest dudes in the world still think they kind of suck.
No, we do.
But I was like,
we suck.
They just keep upping that level of where the suck level's at, and it's just constantly. I don't think I'll ever stop skydive. As long as I can, I'll continue to skydive. Maybe if I lived in a place where it was that much easier to speed fly, I'd probably be doing a lot more of it. It's just we're not set up that well in North America, I feel like, for it. So
right. I feel like with the tunnel and speed flying, I don't need an airplane.
Nah. I mean, yeah, because you get your kicks out of that, and you get to go speed fly and go rip a wing that's a far better wing.
Dude, like my kid was doing 90s on that Loki, coming in as hot as me on a good day doing 450s, playing the fuck out in the rears. Dude, he's coming in hot like...
It's a way better wing. Yeah.
It's crazy.
What's going to be crazy is your son's going to probably be a shredder because I'm sure you get him in the tunnel all the time. Yes. You're going to teach him to speed fly. When he goes to skydive, he's going to be like, oh, I got this. I know how to fly this thing. And then he's going to come down and land and be like, this wing sucks.
I know.
It's like, that's the only downfall to it. It's going to be terrible.
It's weird because I love my Valk. I'm in love with the Valk, but that fucking Loki was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Dude, once we can figure it, once these... You know, the real fabric engineers, I'm just an amateur fabric engineer. Right. The rear fabric engineers come up with ways to like get us closer to a speed wing on our skydiving stuff, you know, to deal with the open. All they got to do is deal with the opening. Once they figure that out, those things
That's what it is. It's the opening shock. So they just got to over-engineer the thing and make sure it doesn't spin.
Yeah, they got to figure out some other stuff. You know, once they get that dialed in,
with the trims and all that, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot.
Amazing. It's going to be so amazing.
God damn.
I can't wait. I can't wait till they come up with stuff, especially because they are working on some mutant stuff. I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, here the new mutant's going to be. Have you seen what Jason does?
No.
He wears a speed flying wing.
Oh, I saw this on one of I watched this on one of your other. What episode was that? Go watch episode
77.
Yeah, watch episode 77. He talks all about it. Yeah, the speed flying harness over his skydiving rig, right?
Yeah, skydiving rig, speed fly harness. Yeah. He packs it in the skydiving rig, deploys it, comes off the skydiving rig, it's on a speed fly harness. Yeah. Like the skydiving rig is no longer even in play.
Yeah, he still has the reserve to meet the requirement, right?
That is insane.
Yeah, I never even thought about doing it. I kind of want to try it now. Oh, there's stuff we can't do in the US. Like when I was in Canada, up there, those guys can have I have a Tersh that I could loop into a base. They could jump a base rig as long as they have to have is
a belly mount.
Yeah, they just have to have the reserve. Whereas here we have to have a TSO'd harness is why we can't do that here. You know, I was just like, man. I was like, so the few base jumps that I've done, I was like, I have an old Dolphin that still meets everything, and I just pack my base canopy inside of that, so I can like
it's hard to fit a base canopy.
Yeah,
into
anything. And I just open pack it inside of it. You know, I don't worry about it, just to go be able to fly the base canopy some.
Just to do it?
Yeah, just so I could kind of like practice with the base canopy. I mean, unfortunately, you know, unless you live at the bridge.
The bridge is hard.
It's like the worst thing is you go from all these skydiving canopies to a base camp, you don't really know how it flies, and next thing you know, you're next to something sketchy. You're always next to something sketchy. You know, or you get to go to Europe.
Yeah, I've been stuck under base canopies pretty high, and I'm like, oh, this thing.
Yeah, they suck.
I wouldn't want to skydive it.
Yeah, no, I just did hop and pops just so you can feel it, back it up. You know, it's not like
I
did a bunch.
You got?
Only like 6, and they were all sketchy. Yeah, Camelback was my first one.
Really, you went Camelback your first one?
Yeah. I had 1,000. I had
280.
Yeah, I had 1,000 skydives before I tried to do it. But you know, at least I knew how to fly the canopy. But my buddy Chris talked us into it, and unfortunately, Chris is gone too. But yeah, I was just like kind of got talked into it. You know, what's funny was we're hiking up Camelback. I'm a pretty in shape, decent guy. I'm hiking up Camelback. I'm just like, man, why am I struggling so hard to do this? I was like, I'm tired. I'm really tired. We go to the base jump. I'm all excited or whatever. The next day I test myself. I had COVID the whole time. I was like, oh, that's why I was tired. I was like, sorry, boys. You should go check yourself.
Oh, that's fun. And where were your next jumps? Have you gone like Saguaro?
No, we did Lower Peralta, which was also, we hiked up there. It got too late, got dark, couldn't turn around and go back up. So I was like, well, I guess we're jumping. We literally jumped into like a freaking blackness.
Where's Lower Peralta?
It's over in the superstitions.
No, we know we hike Peralta. How far back is it?
I wish I could tell you, dude, because I was just following somebody the whole time. We went and hiked down this thing. The problem was, like, it literally got dark. We could see our landing area with a little bit of light, but the area we had to crawl through to get there, I was like, it's going to be more dangerous to try to crawl back because I had to walk around a cliff I could barely see to begin with. Now, if I go back, I'm going to walk around a cliff that's pitch black. I'm not doing that.
So you
I had somebody PCA me. I was like, I'm going to do this, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, just keep an eye on the light. I know if the light turns, turn back towards the light.
Oh, man. So we were hiking in the Peralta last week and we ran into some base jumpers.
Yeah?
3 guys were walking by us. I was like, those are some puffy backpacks, man. What the fuck are y'all doing? Why you got a helmet, bro?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man, they hit Weaver's Needle.
Magic backpack.
Yeah, they went up to Weaver's Needle and jumped.
Oh, wow.
So that's way further back than Lower Peralta. I wonder where you're jumping in Lower Peralta, man. That sounds fucking dope.
Yeah, I know it faces like it's by the parking lot. You can see it from the parking lot. So it's on that face.
What do you think that is? It's probably that little hike. I know exactly what
you kind of go up a thing and you have to drop down something and kind of come around a cliff. It's nowhere you're going to hike without intending to do that. You're not going there unless you're intending to do that.
That's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. When did you learn how to speed fly? You learned in Isabella.
Me and Rich Labar, he like Rich Labar does. Hey, man, we're going speed flying. All right, cool. I want to go. I just happen to be able to go. So we went up to Isabella and crashed out there with him. And then he taught us over like a 3-day course. Man, I'd say if you're anywhere in Southern California area, and especially if you're a skydiver, because you're a skydiver, he's like, cool. He goes, this is how it's different. This is like what pertains to you now. I don't have to go over all this stuff because you kind of understand this.
Right.
You know,
it's a little bit cheaper too.
Yeah, he just kind of glosses over some of the stuff that you don't really necessarily need.
Yeah, toggles, lines, risers, canopies, cells,
exactly.
All
don't touch this. Don't do this. This is how it's different. Here's how you do these things, and he goes. And so yeah, that's where we learn, and that's why I just like it so much because you get everything. You know, you can still do it in the wind. You can learn how to actually kite it. You can learn how to no wind ground launch.
Do you want to go
to Isabella?
I mean, 7 hours.
Yeah, of course. I'll still make the trip out there. You got to pack yourself up and cook. You gotta
look. Is this it?
Oh, is this a good one right here?
All right, so this is Lake Isabella. Look.
Yeah,
there
you
go,
Dwayne.
Look,
there you go, Dwayne.
Canopy fiends.
Oh yeah, this isn't Isabella. This is definitely not Isabella.
Yeah, this is what we're going to learn.
Yeah, that's Dwayne right there.
That's Dwayne. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's the head instructor. It's his place.
It's his dude. He's like one of the pioneers of this, man. He's a character.
Dallas Project. Yeah. Oh, this is a while ago.
Yeah. There's Isabella. That's Isabella right there.
So all those roads, he has access to all those hills.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's BLM land, man.
That's what he said. It is.
So he goes up there and he just kind of like keeps it clean and he drives his old truck up there. Yeah, that's him flying in the wind, just standing up and going. Yeah, it's probably him flying like an old GLX, man, because they used to fly, like I said, skydiving.
Hey, there's a video of TJ. Hey, find TJ flying the GLX. TJ Langren.
That's got to be it right there.
Lake Isabella.
Right?
No. Watch, you'll see.
Yeah.
And he's hauling ass. TJ fucking rips, dude. The video's so dope.
It's cool, man. All those big granite stones. He's a character.
That's a skydiving rig. That's a skydiving canopy.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just get to learn to kite. That's one of the nice things. You just get to learn to kite it there.
You develop an intimate relationship with your parachute. That's what I call it.
100%.
You know, it's
it makes you a better I would say, dude, every skydiver, if they get a chance, should just, even if they don't want to speed fly, just go take the lessons on it because it makes you a better, everyone, of course, when they're learning, new students or whatever, they're thinking about, they're all worried like, oh, what if I, get in trouble? They're all worried about the skydive. And I see even a lot of AFF instructors go all this stuff on the skydive and then they gloss over the canopy stuff.
Yeah, I just fly the pattern and land.
I'm like,
dude, who gives a fuck about the skydive?
I'm like, dude, the last 30 seconds is what hurts and kills you.
That's the only thing. You said that today to somebody else.
Yeah,
Kev, you were like, yo, that's what kills you, bro, not the fucking free fall.
Yeah, the earth is hard.
Unforgiving, dude.
Yeah, we don't want to hit that. That's the thing is like, dude, so I actually talk way more about canopy than a lot of stuff. I'm like, dude, the skydive will figure it out. Whatever. What's the worst that's going to happen? You know?
I'll pull you, bro.
Like,
chill.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, just try to relax, arch. Worst case scenario, arch. I was like, you end up on your back, you can do the whole thing. I was like, dude, just arch. I was like, nothing that's shaped like this flies like this.
So here we go. That's TJ right there. TJ's my fucking hero. I love you, TJ. All right, so he's flying some Icarus fucking skydive canopy in a speed fly wing. Watch.
So that's probably the GLX then, right?
GLX. Look, with some fucking skydive risers.
Yeah.
Is the GLX a skydiving canopy?
No, ground launch. It was actually meant for ground launch.
Look at that thing. So that's a Icarus.
Yeah. I think that was that project. They literally tried to make some ground launch, and they did make some ground launch wings.
And are they not?
I don't know if a lot of guys. I mean, some guys still have them and they still fly them, but
look, he's hauling ass, dude.
Dude, they go so fast.
He is hauling.
Yeah,
ass.
and the nice thing about it is when they shut down too. They shut down.
Look, running, kite up, get that wind.
That's when the wind's coming up right there, baby.
Dude, speed flying is a shit, you guys.
Dude, Isabella's such a cool. There's a guy that flies a hang glider. I thought nobody did hang gliders anymore. Mm-hmm. Dude, if I was in a spot where I could hang glide,
it looks like
I would.
Shit,
I wouldn't speed fly or paraglide. I would hang glide. Yeah. Literally watch this dude comes down, no wind, almost like stalls it out to land, looks at me, pitches it back over, flies up, catches a breeze, goes back up into the air, and he's up there another 20 minutes. I was like, why am I doing this? I want to do that.
I want to do that. Look at TJ.
Dude. That in Isabella is also a cool spot. You can see it in one of the shots. There's another hill way over to the right. Actually, it's right there. You can see it. It's right there to the right. These dudes, they fly these weird little airplane drone things that have like the world record, and they literally catch it when the wind's a certain way, and all they do is they just fly this circle, and they whip around, and these things do like hundreds of miles an hour, and all they do is watch these things whip because of how the wind is set up there, and they just whip around. It's crazy. I don't even know how to describe it or whatever, because we saw them over there doing it once, and Dwayne was telling us all about it. He goes, yeah, those things are doing like hundreds of miles an hour because they use the wind speed to kick them around. It's crazy.
Now look at that shit. He's supine in a fucking speed fly harness.
Supine, baby.
Super deep in the risers. Look, no trims.
Yep. Yeah, that's
no trims.
Yep. Yeah, that's the truck we ride up in, dude.
Yep, there it is.
That sketchy thing on top of the hill. It's so sketch.
It's sketchier than the Kubota.
It's sketchier than the Kubota.
All right, so we're talking about this shit.
You're gonna hate it.
So we're gonna go, but it's only $5.
Yeah, it's super cheap
so
ride
I'll
up there.
fucking close my eyes.
Yeah.
Dude.
Nah, you'll want to watch it.
Hey, okay. Shit.
You'll get over it the first few times. Dude, it's going up a super steep hill.
I never got over it, dude.
There's like ruts and the thing's bouncing around. It's this old truck. Yeah, it's great.
I don't know, man.
It is great.
The Kubota ride was the worst part of the trip. I mean, it's fun. Dude, they're all safe. They're having fun chatting like they're at lunch. Dude.
But you do feel like 6 dudes in that little Kubota is going around the edge. Like, how does this thing not tip over?
What the fuck, man?
How does
it's
it not?
Steep. There's no edge.
Dude,
there's 6 of us with gear.
It's not even steep. Wait till you go to Isabella and you climb up that one. You're like, holy shit.
Dude, we put Jackson on the hood of the fucking thing. On his first ride up to the 800.
I remember saying something. I was like, well, don't worry. If you fall off half the time, you'll hit the hill. The other half, you'll go off.
Dude, I was sitting in the driver's lap when I was like, Justin, he's like, get out of my lap, dude. I was like, I fucked this thing, man.
Yeah, wait till you get in the truck. They're going up to the top of the hill up there.
Hey, look up Soboba speed fly and see if you can find a Kubota. It's a tractor or some shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a little utility UTV, They got it all tricked out.
And that fucking truck is cool.
Dude, it's a cool truck, but it's just a crazy ride
it's just
going
steep.
up the thing. Yeah. I thought I made a video of it on there. Maybe I didn't, but I just remember Rich Lavar looking at the first time we did all this practice stuff. We're down there just practicing away. He's finally like, yeah, let's go up to the top. And we get in this truck. And we're like, okay, just bouncing around. And we go to start climbing up this thing. And we're like,
oh, Jesus.
Looking at each other like, oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know about this, man.
I literally gripped the cage, closed my eyes, and just thought about launching my launch sequence. I didn't look at all.
You can just curl up in the bed back there. It'll be a bumpy ride, but it'll be good.
It's quicker than the Kubotas.
Yeah, it's way faster because it's just a straight. He just goes straight up the thing. It's dude. You can get that's one of the cool things about you can get a lot more rides in really quick because you don't have to hike. He literally can take you to the top. You could also hike too if he's working with students. Like he's working with some students. So me and buddies would just hike up to like the midpoint or whatever. But even we can get to the midpoint a little faster. And if the wind's up, you can stay up there. Yeah, and there's another really tall hill. I've never done it. Our buddy Pete that was there in Soboba as well. Pete. He's hiked up to a really high one. And the thing about Soboba, if the wind changes a certain way, there's actually a back hill you can take. On top of all that hill we're seeing, everywhere they're flying, you don't see it on the...
Look, Kubota, look at that. Fuck that, dude. Good God. That right there. That right there is the most terrifying shit you've ever done. God knows, dude. Oh, my God. I can feel it now. I would get off the Kubota exhausted.
Oh, because you were just like, you were tense the whole time.
My stomach was tense, dude. It's like, oh my God.
You don't ride roller coasters, do you?
No, I'm not.
I don't anymore either.
I'll hook a Valkyrie, but I ain't fucking around.
I remember as a kid, I used to love them, but now I'm like, I don't want to get on that crap.
Look at that. Look, that's the hill. And that's the trail right there. You just fly the fucking trail. So this is more student shit, not what Jay does. Jay rips. This is what I did.
Not this Jay, the other Jay you're talking about.
Yeah, so this is all I got to do.
You know about that area, right?
What?
Further down the road back that way, did you pass by it?
What, Utah?
No, further down that road, down Saboba, just around the other side of the mountain there.
Oh,
That's where the Scientology compound is.
Oh, yeah, they told us not to fly over there.
Yeah, if you watch, I mean, we can't in our speed wings, but paragliders can. Yeah, it's like where if you watched any Scientology documentary and people talked about getting taken away somewhere and putting in a thing, that's where it is.
That's
it's that facility you drive through because it's on either side of the road. Dude.
That's nutty.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because she was like, give me a briefing. She's like, don't fly to the Scientology place. They get pissed. I was like, I'm not going there.
I don't think you could make it over there in a speed wing. The paragliders totally can, though. They'll go aloft right there.
Look at Saboba, guys.
Yeah.
No airplane. It was peaceful.
Yeah.
It was so peaceful. There's no fuel burning. Dude, you just go up the mountain on that fucking terrifying Kubota.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's worth it. Look at this. It's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And look, this is Justin flying the drone. I thought it was another wing. This is just the drone.
No, it's just him. Yeah.
And look, you guys.
The next thing I want to do, though, is I want to go with my buddy, like Jesse. Jesse Ware does it a lot. There's a handful of other guys that do it, too. But we'll go to Europe and do some speed riding.
Oh, on skis.
Speed, yeah, with that. And
That's
skis,
our goal. We're going.
I
want to go to Mont Blanc. That's our goal.
Are you a good skier?
No, we're going to learn how to ski this winter. So this is
up in Flagstaff?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people don't realize, anybody that doesn't know about Arizona is such an amazing place that you can do, it has almost every climate zone. Not quite tropical, but it's close to it, dude. In the wintertime, it's actually a pretty decent ski resort.
Dude, Flag's good. Pine Top's better.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about Pine Top.
Dude, Pine Top's the shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's more rugged, though.
Is it?
Yeah, you're going to get fresh runs. It's untouched, and it's just big and badass. So Mike Wittenberg, who used to be out in Dubai, anyway, he does a speed fly thing in France every year.
Yeah. Where in France, though?
Some weird place. He goes to this resort that is chocolat. I don't know what they say every time.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like you got peanut butter. It sounds like you got peanut butter in your mouth.
But it's like cheap lift tickets. Like the cheapest lift tickets in France that he could find, and he could just go up and down all day.
For just speed flying or speed riding?
Speed riding.
Okay.
At a ski resort.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about trying to set up a trip to go to like Chamonix or something in the summertime and just do speed flying where you just take the gondola up and, Yeah. Labarski, get it done, Labarski.
Let's go, Labar. I'm going to that shit, son.
Yeah.
So like we got our S2s, and then we're going to learn how to ski this winter. And hopefully, if not this March, next March.
Wait, you learned how to ski? You're going to learn?
We're going to.
Okay.
This is the plan. This is what we're executing now.
Yeah.
Right? So we will learn.
Nice.
Next month, dude, it's getting cold as shit.
Yeah, I think there's already some snow up there. I flew, actually, like last week when I was at work, I flew over and I thought I saw snow on the mountain over there. So there might already start to be some.
Right.
Yeah, just don't French fry when you're supposed to pizza. It won't end well for you.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck that
means. You'll figure it out.
Speed riding, are they using smaller skis?
Don't know, bro.
We don't know yet.
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean, I've got my skis. Hopefully I can use them and I don't have to buy other one. But
You're
if not,
skier.
Yeah, I grew up kind of skiing. I lived in Oklahoma, like I said, but we'd drive 12 hours to go to New Mexico, Colorado, you know.
Where would you guys go?
Dude, we went to like Taos a bunch, Crested Butte. I actually knew a bunch of friends that lived in Purgatory, but
Durango.
They called it Durango Mountain Resort.
No,
and
that's just for a little while.
Yeah,
they got pissed. Now it's back to Purg.
Yeah,
so I learned how to snowboard at Purg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I actually used to work at a Sun and Ski Sports when I was growing up.
We know Sun and Ski.
Right. So Sun and Ski Sports used to have these carpeted like things where you could learn. It had the angled carpet on the treadmill.
Yeah.
And I learned how to snowboard on that. I learned how to snowboard in Oklahoma in the summertime. What doesn't translate?
Which Sun and Ski was it? Were you at?
In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, Tulsa.
The other one, yeah. So I learned how to do that. And I remember what doesn't translate very well is when you get onto the mountain, snow is much slicker than carpet.
Fast.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but snow is slicker than carpet. So I'm getting on there and I'm like, shit, I keep slipping out or whatever. And my dad's like next to me trying to coach me along. And I'm finally kind of starting to pick up the snowboard. And I'm like, all right, I got it. Until you get on the fucking greens and they're flat as shit. You don't have any speed. Now I'm taking the bitch off and having to walk. And I was like, fuck this, man. My skis had poles I could push.
Yeah.
I just went back to skis.
I can see that.
I was like, I'm done.
You're on the flats, dude, and those skiers just go by you. They're just having a conversation.
Yeah, I'm
like,
fuck this. Screw this, dude. I'm going back to skis.
So we used to drive to Wolf Creek every year.
I've been to Wolf Creek.
Yeah, that's what, from Oklahoma is 13 hours perfect.
Right, yeah.
Because we would go to Taos or we would go to Sunfire. Where was it? What's the other one?
Oh,
not Santa Fe. The one because back in the day they wouldn't let you snowboard at Santa Fe. You'd have to go to Angel Fire.
And you couldn't snowboard at Taos either for a long time.
So you have to go to Angel Fire.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And New Mexico mountains were always rocky and icy. But
they weren't as good.
Fucking Wolf Creek.
Wolf Creek is. Somebody told me, I don't know how true it is. I never looked it up, but supposedly it is like one of the places that gets the most, like ski resorts, gets the most snow in the country because of how it sits with the mountains or whatever.
It has more snow than anywhere. It never disappoints.
Yeah, dude,
never disappoints.
It's when I was in the Army, I was out in New York. That's why I learned to skydive in Canada. The closest drop zone to me was 20 minutes up the road. I'd literally cross the border every weekend, go up and learn to skydive Gananoque.
Gananoque.
Yeah, skydive Gananoque is a great place, dude. I love it. It was out in the freaking fields. We literally blow up trailers. No one's out there. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's awesome. Anyways,
I feel you.
But I'd ski at Whiteface. Lake Placid. They had like 2 Olympics there. Well, its nickname was Ice Face. I was like, why is that? Sucks. Dude, East Coast skiing, once you've skied in the Rockies, you don't ski. Oh, dude, it was terrible. At a certain time, all that snow would blow off there, and you go on that thing, and all you hear is...
So Pine Top gets like that sometimes, too. And that's how Santa Fe was for us, and Tahoe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we would just end up going to Wolf Creek and getting that pow.
Oh, yeah. I love that pow. Dude, there was a place we went to that was a great place. I don't think it's open anymore because I think one of the local tribes owned it. It was called Ski Rio. It was a real small little place kind of near, it was near, what the hell was it? It was, what's on the other side of Taos? On the other side of the mountain right there, the little town.
Taos, that's New Mexico. Not Santa Fe, Angel Fire, Tahoe.
I don't know. There's... great little ski resort that's right there. It's awesome. It's a cool little old west town. It's near that or whatever, and there was hardly anybody over there. And I think they shut down. It's one of the places we'd go to a few times. I used to love that, going over there, because New Mexico is a little closer than having to go all the way over to, Colorado.
Right. So we ended up ditching Southern Colorado and going to Denver and going to Loveland. So you don't have to go all the way back to Breck and all that shit. Loveland's at the beginning. It's the highest elevated ski resort in America, I think. It goes to 18 grand. One of the lists.
Like the Loveland Pass, right?
Loveland Pass.
Yeah.
It's the best resort ever.
Yeah.
It's locals only. It's never crowded. There's never a line.
Wait, so how'd you get in if it's locals only?
We just stumbled across it.
Oh, okay.
We got lucky. But it's all locals. Like, you get there, there's no like, just like in skydiving, somebody's got the brand new jumpsuit, the brand new rig, and the brand new shoe. Like, that's a fucking dude. That dude's got his A license last week. There's none of that in Loveland.
That's part of my AFF course. I'm like, do yourself a favor and don't match, buddy. Don't match.
So much,
don't match.
Bro.
Don't
Chill
match.
Out on that.
Don't match. Just wear a pair of jeans. Trust me. Just wear a pair of jeans.
Right on. So what's next for Cap J, man? We're making hoops. We're speed flying. I mean, you're living the bachelor's dream, bro. You really fucking are. I mean, dude, I'm learning in Saboba. There you are. I'm skydiving a Buckeye. There you are. Right? I'm at Eloy. There you and Rich R. Mutants coming in. Like, what the fuck is up with these guys, dude?
Yeah, man. So, it still just works pretty good because I just got a captain's upgrade. So you're making a little bit more or whatever. Just get a little time right there. So probably just stick with that for a little while. As far as like the tubes go, we were playing with it tonight, doing the, a bunch of people have asked me for them. A whole lot of people asked me for them because I know how well my tubes fly, is doing the indoor, the tunnel tubes. So we got to dial that in. You gave me some ideas. I'm gonna try to see if that works out. The problem is just the engineering. It's not like I can go and I can give it to an engineer and they can throw it in a test tube. They just never really work the same, for that. So as far as that's concerned, on the Cap J innovation side of things, that's like the next thing to push out. And then just more people that want tubes, I'll make those for them, trying to prove them all the time. As far as skydiving goes, I told myself that I need to work towards trying to do a record. Do I ever think I'm going to be good enough? Probably not, but I want to go try. I want to try. At least go do the tryouts for a record.
Head up
at least
or head down?
There. I'd honestly like to try both. I'm pretty solid on head up for the most part. I think I could probably get there quicker than head down, but I want to get to the point to where I at least get the invite for the tryout. Right. Whether I make it there or not.
What an honor that'd be, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of that's all I expect. I don't make it, probably not, but at least want to get there. My goal also would be I want to be good enough that I want to get invited to LO somewhere. I want to be the guy that people know and be like, he's good enough to LO.
Aren't you the LO at Buckeye?
Yeah, I'm at your local drop zone though. I want to be like get invited to something. So that's my goal. Is just be well known enough, fun enough that people like me. He's a good enough flyer. Be like, yeah, we want him to come out in LO. You know,
it's an honor. That's nice.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I want to be. I don't necessarily want to do it. I've done stuff kind of a little more on the, professional side of things. Like when I was younger, like did it with paintball, like traveled everywhere and played like almost semi-professional paintball. And that just ate on me. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
The competition.
Yeah, I don't want to do the yeah, exactly. It just ruins it. I don't want to get in the politics of it. I don't want to do that. I just want to go. So as far as that goes, but speed flying, dude, just like you, I want to go speed riding. I want to go travel to go do some epics. Like, speed flying here's fun, dude, but we're getting what? A minute and a half ride? I want to go somewhere where I get that 5-minute ride.
Where's that?
10-minute ride.
France.
I mean, yeah, like France, some Sweden, New Zealand. One of my buddies said New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go do some of that, dude.
Let's go.
I want to go do some of that. That and the other thing that you've told me about, power paragliding, buddy.
Let's go. PPG, baby.
I got to do it. I think I need to do my P2 first. I was just going to go send it, a couple of what you're telling me. But, Rich LeBar, I take a lot of, he's kind of like, yeah, it's like, let's get our P2s first and then do it. I'm like, yeah, it's probably smarter. I should probably
Not a bad idea, man.
Yeah, just kind of understand.
Fly those big ass
a little
wings.
bit different wing,
Dude,
just learn
it's flying a monster.
Yeah.
Because when we put up those speed wings, I was like, oh, this little thing is fucking easy.
Yeah.
I'm used to managing a building.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, I don't mind doing sketchy shit, but I kind of like to have it a little more calibrated now.
Right,
Like, I kind of dialed back on my sketchy shit.
So let's talk about sketchy shit. I hear you're on a Friday freak out.
Hey, that one's not so sketchy, but yeah.
It's just funny to see you on the fucking thing. It's you.
Dude, it's my old bonehead freaking helmet, too.
You flew a bonehead?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. It was a comfortable helmet, actually,
The guys that show up in boneheads can't skydive.
Yeah, well, you see,
Look
I
at your
can't
leg
skydive.
strap. Is that you?
Yeah.
Look,
I was new.
Look at your leg. Look at neither one of your leg straps.
Oh, there it goes. Watch.
What is that on your face?
Yeah. Oh! So,
look, leg straps.
Dude,
you're just falling apart.
Dude, I'm falling apart.
What
I'm just a fucking mess. I was actually at Skydive Panama City there with my buddy Josh.
Oh, sick.
So, they had the little ratchet straps, right, that you pull and pull down, and had the little rubber grommet that went around them. So what you could see at that, and I had those stupid chin cup freaking mounts that I absolutely, dude, never again.
That's so lame.
It is. And I tell people, so what happened was I turned to kind of do that, and it caught the freaking ratchet on the 3-ring, and it pulled it down enough to pop it up, and I just got lucky enough to catch it, slap it on my head.
It looks like your helmet wasn't even fucking attached.
It 100% was. It literally, when I turned, that's what caught. You can't see it in there, but it literally caught on the edge of the 3-ring, and it opened the ratchet. So the wind grabbed it.
Whoop. Okay.
It was completely there. Now you see the strap. Now you see the strap flapping right there. Yeah. And it flied. And somehow I managed to squeeze that thing right back onto my head.
And you caught it.
Caught it. So lucky. You can see how close it was to coming off of my head right there.
So the moral of this story is don't jump ratchet straps on your fucking.
Yeah. Or make sure your grommets on there. That and those. That also added to the win, that stupid chin cup mount.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
And it's, I guess for certain things, people are like, oh, I like the shot. It does kind of make a cool, like, POV shot if you want, because it is kind of more your perspective of how you see things. Right. But, dude, absolutely do not recommend them for anybody, only because the fact is when you need to look behind you, that thing sticks out so far, it hits your risers. So every time I had to do it, I had to pull my head back, turn around to look before I could do it, because it would hit right against the thing. And dude, I was like, nah, this thing's got to come off. Yeah,
and I was thinking snag hazard, but the canopy comes out behind you, so it wouldn't really be a snag hazard.
I never felt like it was a snag hazard, but it definitely was a visual hazard, because if I needed to look behind me real quick and it hit, then I couldn't, and I had to move around right there. Right. And that's where I definitely do not recommend them because of that. I mean, they do make some now, I guess, that if they caught anything, they're like magnet and they pull off, but you still can't see behind you because of it. So
right on.
Yeah.
All right, Cat J, man, this was fun. We're about to do the no shit there I was, thought I was going to die. WazzyCircus Radio, thanks for listening to us, guys. Thanks for checking us out. If you skydive, you should speed fly.
Definitely. 100%. And I think if you are wanting to skydive and you've already done some tunnel stuff, I honestly think you should tunnel stuff, speed fly, and then learn to skydive, and you're going to take a ton of stress away from you.
Oh, yeah, because you'll be used to the canopy. You'll be flying. You've landed a few times.
Yeah, you've done some pattern stuff.
That's a big thing for my kids. They're going to have
They're going to be
500 landings before their first jump.
All these kids that come in here and shred or whatever, man, if you can get them to go do that, they'll be amazing skydivers.
Amazing skydivers.
They're just going to be like, oh, dude, this is exactly like the Speedwing. It's just a crappy,
it's just shit.
It's just a crappy canopy.
It's
but
slow.
I know how to do this. You know, no problem at all.
Right on, Cap J.
All right, so I'm reading this. Is that how this goes? All right, run for your life.
Let's go.
Here is a no shit, there I was, thought I was gonna die story that took place entirely on the ground. Around 1977, I worked for United Airlines and went to Hawaii to make some jumps at Dillingham Field. One of the jumper's girlfriend flew the sailplane rides for the tourists. He talked about 6 of us into going out to the end of the runway and mooning her and the tourist passenger. They landed in the sailplane. The sailplane was about 6 feet off the ground. Moons were full, and the tow plane was about 6 feet off the ground on final. Everyone was laughing and looking behind as we soon realized that the sailplane tow line had snapped and the remaining line was dragging along the ground behind the plane. That line was headed right for all of us. Headed right for us. You have not lived until you see a bunch of mooners with their shorts around their ankles run for their lives in every direction, all escape the line as it passed us by, snapping down the runway behind the plane. I always wondered if that tourist got full altitude for that ride. Craig Myers.
Craig Myers. Right on, man.
Oh, it was a blast, buddy. Thank you so much for letting me on.
Man, thanks for hanging out and jumping with me, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
until we do more speed flying time.
More speed
Come
flying
speed fly
time.
with us, everybody.
Come speed fly. Let's go speed fly.
Yeah.
WazzyCircus Radio, we out. Peace.
Yeah.
Nice, Cap.
Dude,
that was
thanks
fun.
so much. That was fun.
It is fun, man. I can't. You'll have a whole copy of the show before it ends, a week before it ends, and